It's not Easter, but let's see if we can find these Easter eggs in some of these cards that you might have lying around. So to kick us off, there is a artist, Saya Saruta. Probably butchered it. I'm sorry, lady, but I love your artwork. She hides a Pokeball in almost all of her artwork. I want to go through all of those that I have available. Let's see if we can find the Pokeballs. Let's start with the easy difficulty with this Choodle. So here's my man Choodle. There is a Pokeball hidden within this artwork. This is an easy one. I'm not going to give you much extra time here. By the time I'm done talking, you should have found it. And it is right here. Still pretty cleverly hidden. You wouldn't probably see it unless you were looking for it. I love it. Let's move to the next. This is our main man, Goodra, and this one is also incredibly easy. Again, still pretty cool. I wouldn't even say this one is hidden, but it's still kind of cool to highlight. If you have not seen it yet, it is right here, right in the back of the door. Super easy. Let's move to the next. Now we have Varoom from Obsidian Flames. There's a Pokeball in this artwork. I also consider this one fairly easy. You should be able to spot this one. And if you haven't yet, let me highlight it for you right here. Now we have Mousehold. So this is still considered easy, but it's starting to get a little more camouflage. So can you find the Pokeball in this artwork? If you have not been able to find it, let me highlight it for you right here. But as you see, we're starting to get a little more difficult, and it only gets harder from here. So let's go to the next. Let's take a break from searching for Pokeballs to talk about the Salvatore card. So there's a lot of things to like about this card and this artwork. Number one, the Raichu there on the right side, that's super cool. This whole artwork is so detailed and really neat, but the thing I love most on the top left, these are the original sprites from the Pokemon Red and Blue games, and the sole reason I purchased this card. I absolutely love the callback, the Easter egg, and something that I think is easily overlooked, but makes this card absolutely incredible. Now we are in medium difficulty, and I will say, to me, it makes a difference when you spot and look at the card from far back, kind of, compared to when I'm really zooming in for you. So right here, can you find the Pokeball? And if you can't, let me zoom in here for you. That should kind of help, but again, this one is, I think, much more cleverly hidden than any of the others that we've seen so far. Have you been able to find it? If not, here it is. Now let's move on to the next. This is Mantine from Fusion Strike. There is a Pokeball within this artwork. I think definitely harder than the ones we've seen thus far. Let me zoom in here and see if you can spot the Pokeball. So if you have not, let me highlight it here for you. Again, I think this is the hardest one we've had so far. They're starting to become more fun, so let's move to the next. Sticking with the medium difficulty, we have Shellos, and there is a Pokeball here. I think zoomed out, it's going to be hard to find. However, let me zoom in here for you and see if you can spot this Pokeball. Again, if you aren't looking for these, I think we're in the realm where you're not finding this. If you haven't seen it, let me highlight it right here. Super cool. Again, absolutely love how this adds value to the rather meaningless cards otherwise. Here we have Indeedee, and far out, you aren't finding this thing. You really got to get up close to the artwork really to see it. So let me zoom in. Now it's, I think, a little easier and more apparent. But again, if you weren't looking for this thing, I don't think you're finding it. Did you find it? And if you have not, let me highlight it for you, and let's move on to the next card. Let's take another break from finding Pokeballs to look at Chatot, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say this name, but this artwork is super neat. So we see the clef notes on the left side of the artwork, and then this actually represents and creates some sheet music. So the Pokemon are the actual notes, and what I love about this are the notes on the top actually represent that Pokemon's cry. And then on the bottom, that is the melody of the Pokemon Center when they are healing your Pokemon. I mean, absolutely incredible, super cool. I love this card for that reason, and that is solely why it's within my collection. What do you think about that? Gear up, because we're going to the hard Pokeballs. All right, we are now looking at cards that, I'm sorry, if you don't know that there's a Pokeball in here, you are not finding it. But I absolutely love this. So there is a Pokeball in this artwork, and no, don't be that guy. No, it's not on top of his head. That doesn't count. There is another Pokeball in this artwork. Again, zoomed out makes it so incredibly difficult. Zoomed in definitely makes it a little more apparent, and let me highlight it for you right here. A really good use of the artwork, the environment to kind of hide that Pokeball. Really big fan of this one, but let's move to the next. This is a Greedent appreciation post because this card in general is cool. You gotta love it. But what makes it even better is that there is a Pokeball hidden in here. And it's to the point, in my opinion, where we're starting to get in the criminally insane type of difficulty. I could not find this one. I had to have someone show me because I couldn't find it. But can you find it? Feel free to pause the video, take a little harder look, because either you're an I Spy master or it's a lot more difficult than any of the others. Let me highlight it for us right here. Did you find it? If so, well done, because that is pretty dang impressive. All right, now I want to cover just some random Easter eggs and how some of the cards actually, their artwork, go together to create a story. So this Arrokuda, pretty cool little guy, but you see the Cramorant kind of in the background. Cool artwork, nothing horribly special. I mean, a pretty common card, right? So then what we do is we see this scene. Now let's move to the Cramorant, and what we're going to see is, our little buddy Arrokuda got. Cramorant got his dinner. Looks very similar, same scene. Last time he was diving into the water, he got him some food. Boom. Just kind of cool how it made a story. Now this one may be a little bit of a stretch, but we have a Salvatore, and again, pretty typical artwork. He's by some rocks, and he's just chilling. However, peek on the left side there, and you will see a familiar little buddy with maybe his ears and a tail poking out. That will come into handy here very shortly. So let's pull in the Raichu. Now note, we have very similar rocks behind Raichu. We also, it's a little harder to see, but the Salvatore is in the background, kind of to the right. I'm bringing it up closer to take a little gander. And then we also have a Rotom, just a random Rotom, sitting there hanging out. So I think these two cards and artworks go together, which look pretty neat. Totally different style, right? But still, I feel like a story is being told there. And then I'm going to pull up the Rotom, and that is simply just a card. He's right there in the middle, in between the two guys. That one may be a little bit of a stretch, but I think you see the two rocks. It seems like this could be the same scene. Still really neat. From different sets, that's what I love. Creating a scene, different artworks, different sets, just shows the collaboration between these artists. This is another one of my absolute favorites. So we have Gloom from Aquapolis. And yeah, he's just hanging out there, sleeping on a branch by a tree. He's knocked out cold. He's drooling. You know, so-so artwork. It's cool, no problem. But now, let's fast forward all the way to the Crown Zenith set. We're seeing the same Gloom. We see the tree. We saw the branch. There's the water. He's now fallen off his branch. He's now startled, woken up. He's still drooling. It's so cool that decades afterward, they're making a callback from the Aquapolis card. Absolutely love the story. This is one of my favorites. I mean, you gotta love this. Super neat. I hope you enjoyed it too. Like I said, it's definitely one of my favorites. Let me know if you enjoyed the Easter eggs, the Pokeballs that we uncovered today. Now, there definitely are a lot more. This is not a comprehensive list. Who knows? Maybe I'll need a part two. But let me know what some of your favorite Easter eggs are. If you have any bulk or other cards with Pokeballs or callbacks from previous generations. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.